Hello, both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another segment of our Hidden Gems, where every Tuesday at 7 p.m. we highlight our Black and brown businesses, as well as the community leaders, folks that are doing positive things to impact our communities. And we want to make sure that we uplift them, get them their roses while they're here. So many times, too often, we lose those pillars, those community folks that are doing things to impact our community. And then we go to the funeral homes and we say, oh, they did so much. So we want to make sure that those folks are acknowledged, and we want to make sure that we highlight them while they're here. Also for our Black and brown business, we want to make sure we get them on so you can patronize those businesses and we can have that economical empowerment in our community. With that being said, we got one phenomenal hidden gem tonight. We'll be bringing this brother up shortly, but just want to go through a couple of our community announcements and some of the stuff that's going on. And before we stop and go there, I want to go ahead and give everybody an update. As you all know, the GoFundMe has been going on. Everybody heard about the vicious, brutal attack that happened to James Spangola, Uncle Stank, last week on Friday, and just want to give everybody an update. He is home recovering. He's still dealing with his bruises and pains and different things of that nature. But he's, his spirit is up. Everybody know his spirit is up and he's moving. But just want to say thank you to all the community and solidarity coming together, supporting the GoFundMe, making sure that he has everything that he needs moving forward. And we just appreciate y'all. Continue to support. We want to make sure that he gets back in the community, but we also want to make sure all the medical needs and things that he needs is taken care of for him and his family. And we just going to keep praying for him and wishing the speedy recovery to get him back in the community so he can continue to impact and do the work that he do for our young folks. More and more conversations is going to be coming up about not only that incident, but a number of incidents that have taken place across our communities and our community centers with our young folks, our elders. And as a community, we have to come together and figure out, one, how do we protect our young folks and our elders who go to senior centers, and things of that nature, and how do we support our youth to make sure that when they're going to learning hubs and learning centers, that they're protected and they don't have to worry about coming and learn, running into different violence and drug paraphernalia and things of that nature. So another conversation that's coming later. Definitely both sides of the conversation will be a part of that, and we will be reaching out to all our community organizations, leaders, elected officials, figuring out a way, how do we make sure our community stays safe? So stay tuned for that. Also, one community update we just want to update, because I know in our introduction slide, it said that we're having a Sunday conversation on narcissism. We're going to be moving that to another week because we do have an event out of community that we will be live at this weekend with our Time Done folks and our crime survivors and victims of CSJ. So we will be live at a community event So you still could tune in, but we won't have the narcissism conversation this Sunday. So with that being said, want to go ahead and go through some of the world announcements, some of the stuff that's taking place in the news, get through the community events, and then we're going to bring up this phenomenal gym tonight and see what he has going on, because it seems like so much that he's doing to impact, and we're looking forward to get behind him and support. With that being said, if you all haven't heard, Twitter has filed a formal lawsuit against Elon Musk. Earlier today, a judge formally decided that Twitter can proceed with its lawsuit against Elon Musk after the Musk changed his mind about buying a popular social media platform for $44 billion. The judge ruling also confirmed that the lawsuit will involve a 5-day trial set to start in October. So we'll keep you all posted as that goes along. Also, earlier today in San Francisco, at the San Francisco airport, the San Francisco Police Department confirmed that a man was stabbed in the baggage claim area of SFO's Terminal 3. The airport worker had no life-threatening injuries, but was rushed to the hospital. No info yet on the reason for the attack. The investigators are still investigating, but it was a male in his 40 years old that's been detained. We'll find out and see what's going on. There's been a number of incidents at SFO over the last couple of weeks. Also, last week, there was a bomb threat that had people evacuating out of the airport. So, again, we still have folks out here that's dealing with mental health, dealing with things. Again, community, be safe when you're traveling, be safe when you're going places, whatever's going on in the air or water, whatever. People are just becoming more and more violent. We've been sharing those stories across our social media. I mean, people are just really at bad spaces right now in this country. Also, Sesame Street is placed under bias training. If you all haven't seen, there was a number of videos that a lot of the Sesame Street actors at a parade was passing up and not giving handshakes and hugs to Black folks or Black children, but was to other races. So they're going under bias training. A Black mother posted a video of her two daughters that she said was racially profiled by the Rosetta character during a parade at the Sesame Place in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. The mother said after seeing Sesame Place merely deemed that it was a misunderstanding in their statement. But the video showed that the costume characters did walk past her children without giving dap, but earlier giving dap to some younger white children. Again, it's always time to do training, education. We don't know who the people are behind those masks, but again, it's definitely something that needs to be addressed as we continue to deal with hate and racism in this country. Very, very important topics that we continue to have as we continue to talk about equity. We continue to talk about inclusion, diversity. What does that really mean? What does that really look like on all levels? But we'll continue those conversations and make sure that community gets those. For our community events, there's a number of community events coming up. So please get your information and pencils ready to get some of this information because there's a number of events that is coming up. The 2022 Summer Play Day is going to have carnival rides, baseball, live entertainment, and much more. It's happening Wednesday, July 20th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be at the Bayview KC Playground, which is formerly known as the Martin Luther King Playground on 3rd Street in Armstrong. So that'll be happening on Wednesday. If you could get out there and check it out. It should be a fun event. Also, this weekend, the Art and Soul Festival is happening. Free concert for the community is happening Saturday, July 23rd from noon to 6 p.m. That will be at downtown Oakland at the Frank Aguila Plaza. Should be a great event. I missed the 3 days of it. I think this year is just one day. But if you could get out there, check out some live jazz and some of the music and things of that nature, it should be a great, great event. Also, Hoop for Peace is happening. The community circle basketball training, kickball game. There's going to be food and much more happening. It's going to be a tournament. The participant ages are 7 to 13 years old. That is also happening Saturday, July 23rd from 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Plaga Recreation Center in San Francisco off of San Bruno. So that should be a great event for the young folks. Looking forward to seeing who all shows up and see how our young folks engage with each other. Also, the Black Female Project is presenting Let's Talk. They're having community conversations with Ella Bell. That is happening Wednesday, July 27th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. This is a 1-hour virtual event. If you would like to register and be a part of that, the information will be going across the screen, and you should be able to connect with that event. Also, the Friday Night Teens is happening. food, music, game trucks, and much more is happening. This event is free to everyone. This is happening Friday, July 29th from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. It's going to be at the Indian Shoreline out there in Hunters Point between Hunters Point Boulevard and Halls. I know API is a part of that. This should be a great event to get our young people out of the community and having some good times. And they need that right now. So much stuff is going on. We need our young folks to stay active and doing something. So that's nice to see this event happening on a Friday night to get our young folks involved in some other things instead of hanging out. Also, Sobe Day is happening. Live performances by the Loonies, three-time crazy, Bay Area legends in Oakland. This should be a great event. Please check out the information. Get out there and support our Bay Area artists. Saturday, July 30th from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the New Parish at 1743 San Pablo Ave. And we got Brother Chuck here. I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit more about it. It should be popping. Also, the tickets you could get on Eventbrite, and we'll get that information up on the screen as well. Also, the Bayview National Night Out is happening. They're going to have a community talent show, a kids zone, food, and much more. And that's happening Tuesday, August the 2nd, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Bayview Opera House. Definitely we'll be out supporting that event as well. The address is 4705 3rd Street in San Francisco in the Bayview. So please check it out. It should be a great event. National Night Out is going on through all out our communities. They'll have one in Bayview. They'll have one in Fillmore. They're going to be all out across the city. Also, the Alive and Free Alumni Friends Barbecue is happening. They're going to be celebrating 35 years. If you all missed it, this Sunday, both sides of the conversation, or most of our team was on there to talk with the alumni and Alive and Free, Dr. Marshall Street Soldiers. We had a great show with them this past Sunday, but we'll be out there on Saturday, August the 6th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It'll be at the Castro Valley Community Park at 18988 Lake Chabot Road. Please come out and have some fun, some good food. The weather should be great and have a good time. Come celebrate 35 years of Street Soldiers, Alive and Free Omega Boys Club. Also, the Invest Black and Youth Comedy and Award Show is coming up August 13th. Those tickets have been sold out, but the event will be happening. We'll be there, be a part of that, and we'll try to live stream and get that information out to the community and how the event turned out. Also, the B Magic 19th Annual Backpack Giveaway is happening Saturday, August the 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 155 Jennings Street. For more information, check out the information link up above on the screen. And get out there and get you some backpacks, some materials and things that the young folks need to go back to school. They're going to have people giving out haircuts, all kind of stuff. Check out that event. Also, the Young Black Climate Leaders applications are being accepted for new youth led by the YBCL Future Funds. Black leaders between the ages of 18 and 28 years old are encouraged to apply. 3 tiers of funding between $1,500 and $6,500 to support their work at the intersection of social justice and climate. Please contact the YBL. Their information is going on the screen there if you would like to get more information. But those are the stipends that you'll be paid up to $6,500 for that project. Also, don't forget to donate and support Uncle Stank. The GoFundMe page is up there. We'll be sharing it on all of our social media handles. Please, if you know Uncle Stank and you know the impact he has, and he's blessed the community and the work that he's done, please support him and go to the GoFundMe and make a donation. Also, both sides of the conversation, y'all know we still looking for volunteers, people that can help support this platform, move it even further, have greater impact. If that is you and you looking, how do I get connected with the community? I got some skills. I want to give back and support the people. Reach out to us. Go to our website, www.bsotc.org. Or you can hit the info at BSOTC. Come on and come support the community because y'all know we love to bless the people and make sure our people are impacted. Also, if you want to support us financially, you can go to Amazon Smile, sign up, choose both sides of the conversation as one of your charitable organizations, and they will donate 0.5% of your purchases to us, no extra cost to you. That's one way you could give back. Or you could go to our website, click the donate button, and donate and support us. All the funds that we get, y'all know we do stuff to give back to the community, but we also need to build capacity. There's other things, ideals we're trying to do. It all takes funds, and the more the community helps support the faster we can deliver those services to our community. And we appreciate all the people who have been signing up on Amazon Smile and just supporting us in different ways. We appreciate you all of our community sponsors. Thank you all for continuing to support the work that we do here at Both Sides of the Conversation. Don't forget, we got a number of services that we also support to community. Okay, if you got an event coming up and you're trying to get some aerial footage, call us. We'll bring our drone out, fly our drone, and take video and photography at your event. Also, we have a 360 booth. If you're doing an event, you want us to bring our 360 booth out, call us, reach out to us and get pricing, make a donation to us, and we'll come out and support your event. And also, lastly, please subscribe to our newsletter. Check us out on all our social media handles at Both Sides of the Conversation. And we're looking forward to connecting with you all. Our Educational Thursdays will be announced coming up. We're trying to lock in our guests for that. And then this Sunday, like I said, we'll be live in the community, and we'll be making sure we'll stream what's going on with our Time Done folks. With that being said, I've said enough. Enough of me. You heard enough of me. It is time to bring on tonight's hidden gem. Bring him up so that he can introduce himself to community and let everybody know what's going on with the Sobe and some of the things that he's doing in community. With that being said, we're going to bring up my brother, Chuck Johnson. Chuck, welcome to Both Sides of the Conversation, brother. Come let the people know what you're doing, King.
What's going on with you, John? How you doing tonight, man?
Hanging in there, good brother.
It's good, man. Hey, man, keep it real. I was just watching the show, man. That was very informative. That was a lot of information that you just gave to the community. So shout out to your show for, setting it off like that, man.
Most definitely, King. Well, go ahead, man, and go ahead and give people a little background. I know you got a quick video you want to show. Let's put up this video, and then let's
tell you what. Before I even speak, I kind of let the video speak for itself.
Okay, right? Let's do that, brother. Put it up.
So we gonna introduce you guys. For those who don't know, Sobe, KTVU basically did a piece on Sobe for Black History. So here we go. Can you see it, John?
John, y'all can see it. Y'all can see this up there. Go ahead, good brother.
All right, cool.
So much of what we've explored during this Black History Month focuses on contributions of African Americans to the country's arts and culture.
And now we go back to the 1970s, where American Black history was made right here in Oakland. KB's Tom Vakar explains how the sound of Oakland is still reverberating with a soulful beat worldwide.
Once upon a dream, the dream came true, and it was Sobe on Oakland Public Access TV.
Ending of the show, we're almost up out of here.
For 25 years, from 1978 to 2003, Sobe was a 24/7 Black-owned public access TV network founded by Chuck Johnson, who passed away in 2004.
But we managed to keep our belts pulled in, and we were able to make it 23 years. We were 23 years as of February the 4th.
Sobe, based in Oakland, was the first music video network in the nation. It was completely freeform, mostly live, local, accessible, and truly revolutionary because it gave Oakland's people not a tube to stare at, but a mirror.
A nonstop affection between the community and Sobe.
Chuck Johnson, no relation to the founder, went from intern to producer to host of his own hip-hop and talk shows.
Me growing up in Oakland, I used to just love the opportunity to turn on the TV and see us on television, where at times in the early 80s, early 70s, African Americans wasn't that much on television.
iHeartRadio DJ Rynell Showbiz Williams went into music inspired by Sobe.
I was determined to be in the media because of Sobe. We got a chance to see a lot of Black faces 24 hours a day.
Many of those Black faces, first shown on TV or shown very early in their careers, who later became mega music stars, were often seen on Sobe, including Michael Jackson, Prince, MC Hammer, Too Short, and Vogue, Digital Underground, Tupac Shakur.
Whenever they came to the Bay Area, they had to knock on Sobe's door. So many, songs, broke on Sobe.
Billy Jam, an Irish immigrant, had a 4-hour hip-hop show every Saturday in the early 90s.
It was playing all of this Black music that got no exposure. But more importantly, it was also focusing on local artists. And even more importantly than that, It was doing community things.
So many politicians that spoke to the community and got voted into office because they came to speak on Sobe and speak to Mr. Jackson. Sobe worked because many small local Black-owned businesses found a way to buy some ads and became famous in their own right.
We saw Black-owned businesses left and right that promoted on Sobe. I thought that they were celebrities. It was, no doubt, the Oakland circle of life.
It was truly Oaklanders watching Oaklanders. Most people that was on Sobe was from the community. So it was always that you might have saw your auntie, you might have saw your uncle, you might have saw your cousin.
Sobe just showed the beauty of Black faces, Black-owned businesses, Black talent in one small city.
Sobe also had a news director, Chauncey Bailey, who was later gunned down in 2007 by a crime syndicate that he was investigating as editor-in-chief of the Oakland Post.
It was not just a music video station, it was a total 24-hour lifestyle.
Will Sobe be reborn? A major studio is looking at making a documentary about this most unique venture and its founder, Charles Johnson.
He was the definition of say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you very much indeed. Tom Vakar, KTVU Fox 2 News.
I want to show you a side hustle.
So yeah, you got to stop sharing it. Yeah, there you go, Chuck. There you go.
Yep.
Man, that's pretty powerful, man. I mean, I remember now, like when I saw that, I remember some of that stuff when I was younger. But you know, seeing this, man, just go ahead and talk about, you know, where Sobe is now, what you're doing. You know, there's a comeback. Talk to the community. Just give a breakdown outside that news clip, and come let the community know what's going on, Chuck, because it's a movement happening.
Yeah, man, it's been dope, man. For the last, basically, it's been about 2 years since I, you know, just pushed the button and said I was really gonna commit to this thing, and it's just been a very dope experience from the community, to the elders who, you know, was around it when I wasn't around it, to even the younger generation now that want to learn a lot about it. So, you know, being a middle-aged man to say I am now, which I'm proud to be, you know, it's dope to be a bridge for generations. And so that's what the Sobe story is about. It's just about building bridges with generations. Our community needs to see more of our history. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just one of those guys that was fortunate to be a part of this history. So, you know, I had a hip hop video show on Sobe. And so it was just one of those things that, just a long story short, I had a hip hop video show that was on Saturdays from 4 to 6. A lot of people remember I interviewed a lot of the artists that's, you know, now considered legends, you know, whether it was Jay-Z, whether it was the Fugees, Goody Mob, just an array of different artists that whenever they came to the Bay Area, they just knew that they had to come through the Sobe. And I just so happened to be a part of that experience. And so when I did my show, I had to be real, I probably put in hundreds of hours on camera for Sobe, but I had this, you know, about 30 hours of what my show was about. And so, you know, I just been kind of sitting on this pile of footage, so to speak, for a long time. I just felt like now it's the time to do like a documentary with it, or, you know, just find other people who got Sobe footage and tell a full story of Sobe, because, you know, it's a hell of a ride, man. You know, shout out to the OG. I actually, you know, somebody gave me that as a gift. My man, Shamari Smith, he put that together, that piece, and he gave it to me as a gift. But Chuck Johnson has an incredible story of, first of all, handling a 24-hour network in Oakland for like 24 years. Then he had another 20 years or more in the entertainment industry in Hollywood and beyond that, you know, a lot of people don't know about. So, you know, I just kind of want to just tell a full story. And then, of course, for the immediate future, we got Sobe Day, which is July 30th. And it was just a commitment to doing a event every year that, you know, represents Sobe. You know, one year it might be an award ceremony. This year it's a daytime event. You know, we're going to kick it from, you know, 2 to 7. And it's just a whole nother backstory in my life is that, you know, we working on having, of course, the Loonies there, which is with, you know, Yuck Mouth and Numbskull. And then also this old school group, the ones who know the 3 times crazy. You know what I'm saying? The 3 times crazy, Drew Down, and that whole, paraphernalia to the mob, so to speak, is what they call themselves, and T Looney and all of these dudes who represent a certain type of a super group, because all of them was their own individual groups, but then they came together like on some Wu-Tang Clan shit and had their own East Oakland version of that. And so it's just dope to, I guess you can say, encapsulate some of our culture in that space. It's not always going to be about the mob. There's other elements that, Sobe represents, but I'll be playing if I didn't show this part of my essence that, when the Loonies came out with, I got 5 on it, it went beyond the Bay. It went all around the world. So it's just, again, another ode to the culture that represents our city that I love to preserve. Excuse me. I love to preserve.
Man, that's dope, man. I mean, here's the thing, man. When you say those names, it just brings like joy to me, because that's the music. When we listen to our rap music, it was definitely listening to Barton them, 3 times crazy, Too Short, Loonies. I got 5 on it. Like you said, that was a hit all across the world to this day. If you drop 5 on anywhere, the crowd will go crazy. Because that just, and what I appreciate the most, Chuck, and just listening to you speaking about what you're doing, I think one is just very powerful and dope. Listen to the piece about Black media, and that's one of the things here at both sides of the conversation we're trying to do, right? Keep it authentic to our community so that Black folks do have a voice and have a space, man. And that's why I always, channel. And that's just the history of the Bay Area, right? We don't want to be like CNN, Fox News, and all of them, right? We want our people to have our voices and be able to say what we need to say, man. And that's really changing the narrative. And that's what you're doing, man. And this event on the 30th, it's gonna be cracking. I already can feel the energy, because again, anytime you bring 3 times crazy, man, that's gonna be lit. So I got to get out there for that. But just talking about the media, Chuck, just what we see it now, knowing the impact of media, and again, a lot of people in the community don't understand why it's so hard for Black media to get across in our communities. And
right.
But with Sobe, when they talked about the different things politically, music, how powerful that was, where we at today, like what type of influence you think, we could have as community if we started to utilize our own messaging to really impact our community?
I mean, I think that's just been the biggest piece of it all, is like how serious do we take giving each other information? You know what I'm saying? Because this is keeping 100. When we think about Sobe, a lot of times it's the music videos. But Chuck had the council members coming on there, being interviewed and talking about issues that's happening in City Hall, and how they answered it would dictate if they get voted for to get in office. You know what I mean? So
right.
You got to think about how even KTVU took the time to say, we want to come cover Sobe. So it meant that it had a certain post as a culture as a whole, but sometimes us as a community, we don't know how to utilize it and maintain it and sustain it. Let's face it, if I was talking a lot more about the kicking it side of my life, or the kicking it that everything go down the beat, okay, you repping them shirts. Yeah, it's like you probably get a lot more, but because we take that route of going for the education highway that sometimes we go, that's not sometimes the most popular place that people want to spend their money.
Man, definitely. I mean, I think that's definitely the push that we have to start moving. And I mean, in our community, the music culture really drives us forward. So having a station like Sobe and you coming now to bring this back could definitely be a push in our community that we need, and with all of the violence, the stuff that's going on, the gentrification of Oakland, how do we use your network and these TV networks, our media, everybody, how do we collectively, push our messaging around to change that narrative? Because it's like, when you tell people come to Oakland, the first thing is, oh, it's dangerous, be safe. You know what I mean? But if you hear, you really understand, what's going on. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful city. It's a lot of culture. It's a lot of richness. And how do we continue to use the soul beat, what you're doing, to really bring people together? Because I think sometimes people forget, the things that you're doing with these concerts also brings people together. I know we in times where people are afraid to gather in large groups because of violence and things of that nature. But how do we really just get our people and say, hey, this the movement. This is what we doing. Come be a part of this and let's get it lit again, you know?
I think what we're doing right now is it, because again, even how you and me forming a relationship right in front of this audience, because, you know, shout out to, you know, the homegirl Chrissy and just, you know, the partner Rome. Just in other words, I got friends from San Francisco. So I didn't even being I'm a pure Oakland dude, I still spent hella time with San Quinn in San Francisco, hella time with JT, hella time with my partner Ryan, and just all of these dudes that I know from the city. I really spend time in San Francisco. But my thought process is, of course, you know, Oakland is the base for Sobe, but I'm ready to think about the entire Bay Area. And again, it's about really having heart-to-heart conversations. That's what I was trying to say, that, you know, OGs spend a lot of time talking about the youngsters to themselves. Youngsters might spend a little time talking about us, and then, oh, fuck y'all OGs. Y'all, we ain't tripping off of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So it's about just having that pulse with the youngster. Like, I ain't here to just tell you what to do. You tell me what to do a little bit. You know, like that's what these platforms have to turn up to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I even come with the Sobe thing, that, you know, shit, I'm 47, man. So, you know, messing with the dude back behind my head, he was an OG. So he was on that, you know, OG style. And then he was trying to, you know, get me to be towards their world. And I was like, man, it's cool. I respect the order. I respect the OG vibe. But I'm hip hop, Chuck. And it's going to be a certain way I'm going to take with what I'm learning from you. But then it's also, I'm going to blend what I'm already about with how I live out here with this hip hop shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm even trying to say to the youngsters, to the ones that do listen, they do listen. The ones that don't, well, you know, we got some more work to do. But all I can tell you, bro, is that I'm just glad that we got these kind of platforms that do this. And I look forward to continuing like a relationship with you guys and having these subjects being discussed. But, you know, I just can say this to you, man. We just planning like a various amount of different content that we want to present to the culture. Because again, if you was to come to the hit, I'm not doing nothing that's quote unquote, we doing some things that's innovative, but I'm really just learning from the book that I already had in front of me. You know what I mean? Sobe basically was just every spectrum of the Black experience kind of a platform. Like, it wasn't nothing that you really couldn't say that you wasn't going to be able to see, because we all different. You know what I'm saying? So you might see a pastor that I'm really cool with, and he has something on at 8:30 on a Sunday, and then, you know, at 10 a.m., you know, it may be a Nation of Islam piece. Then after their piece, it may be a, you know, conscious community piece. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna be. It's just all the different spectrums of us.
So Chuck, while you speaking, you know, my mind is like, it's always like a working meter. It's moving. But, you know, listening to you and thinking about what you said in the opening about, you know, the years of documentaries you have and the historic stuff, you know, how wouldn't it be nice to have like a hip hop space, like our own little small museum somewhere where we can have this footage? And when you talk about teaching the young people about history of music, so many young folks want to be artists and get in the game. I think having some place like that, like a little historian spot in Oakland. I know they got different murals and different places for things, but I think that would be tight to have somewhere where they could go in there and listen to see some of the videos and see some of the interviews and just have that enrichment of like what took place then to now and how do we put it all together to really make something. I think, yeah, definitely we should talk. I would love to have some kind of educational Thursday or something we could put together, some kind of PowerPoint to really just talk to the young folks about the historic part of music, you know, some of the historic stuff in Oakland, because a lot of times these young folks, they do get in the industry, they come from a Bay Area, but they don't really understand the legends, the people who put in the work before to move this culture in the Bay Area forward. What you think about something like that? I mean, I'm looking forward to come to check out the stuff anyway, but what do you think about that?
It just let me know that the synchronicity is right in the culture, that, you know, I've heard that maybe more than once, that it basically needs to be like a Sobe museum, or even if you want to, you know, niche a certain part of it to be quote unquote a hip hop museum. And, hell, like, that's what I'm into, bro. Like I said, we're going to get to know each other, as the days come, because, in one part of my life, I was rocking with, the City Hall for a minute. And I was, I was hip hop in City Hall when it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was really like, bro, you got to start coming in here with a suit. And I was like, I'm not. I'm going to keep wearing this hip hop because I want to prove that hip hop can rock in City Hall too. So anyway, the point is that eventually it gave me opportunities to help put together proclamations for hip hop holidays. Like, for example, Sobe, that was already made by Mayor Elihu Harris in 1993, a holiday, so to speak, in the city, right? That's in 93. But for me, I came in on some hip hop stuff with Tupac Day, which is on June 16th, and a brother out of New York helped me with that as well. And so, then we turned around, we was supportive of one which is called Cool Water Day. And that's a daytime event that's been going on for now over, 6 or 7 years. And, it's ever growing, so to speak. Then we turn around, we was a part of helping with Digital Underground Day. You know what I mean? And so it was just, then we turn around, of course, not last but not least, I don't know if you're familiar with Hyro Day.
Yeah, I know about Hyro Day.
Yeah, so we was, very supportive in getting Hyro Day a proclamation. So again, that's just, hip hop has really just been my life, bro. And it just became one of those things that Sobe was also a part of my life. And so I just had to, see what I could do with this, unique logo, so to speak.
Man, very powerful stuff. Chuck, I agree with you so much. People get judged on how they dress and different things, the culture. But speaking of that, because rap is a big influence in our community, Chuck. We always talk about how we change the narrative, and the work that you're doing. And we know music has a great influence. How do we intentionally get our young folk that's up under you? I know you said you're in the upper 40s. I'm 43. I work with a lot of these young folks in juvenile. They all want to rap. They want to do videos. But how do we get to them and really, get them to understand the power of their voices, the power of their music, to really put a message out there that really vibrates our communities and moving forward? We in these times where gas is high, inflation is high, people are doing things just out of desperate, right? But music seems to be that part of love and healing in our community. How do we format that in a way that we get our young people to understand, like, you very powerful, we enrich them with that power so that they can push music that really moves our communities forward?
Is basically kind of give them a little bit of an understanding of the business, give them as much, of course, business acumen as they need to be, business people with us in this kind of a, platform. But it's almost like get out their way. Like, you may, set the stage up, but just let them express is what they really asking to do. But, of course, we want to have conversations with them of how to, have alternatives. I call it alternatives. In other words, when we was growing up listening to music, you can listen to some gangster shit or you can listen to some conscious community type rap. You had a choice, so to speak. Of course, you got people like, J. Cole's and, Kendrick Lamar's is still, reaching a bar where, some lyricism is happening and moving the culture in a positive way is happening. But, we know what's up. That ain't the most dominant popular music on the top 20. You got them two, and then you got 18 other ones that's on something different. But so I'm just saying we need to have more of a balance. And, that's all I would want to talk to the youngsters about. But other than that, you got to get out their way. Like, I got a couple of young partners. I just, I know they're going to talk quote unquote gangster. I just don't want to be a part of the drill and the gang. Because that means that I'm in the middle of you and your ops. And both of y'all gonna want to get advertisement or get exposure, and I don't want to be in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's very real stuff. One of the other questions I wanted to ask you, I think is very important that came out of that piece as well. When you talked about, supporting Black businesses, because I seen the clips where y'all went around to Black businesses, given the times that we are in, coming out of this pandemic, small Black businesses have been impacted tremendously. The economical resources that go through our community has just, dwindled, right? We don't even move money in our community as much. What does it take and how do we utilize what you're doing, what we're doing, other folks are doing to really get our Black folks to start spending money in our community, investing in each other to build our communities up. Like not only in Oakland, San Francisco, gentrification has moved out all of our Black folks. Now they're moving into Oakland. So this is happening. And, I've been trying to talk to different folks in Oakland and trying to say, look at the blueprint of what took place in San Francisco. The same thing is going to Oakland. You see in West Oakland, you see now in even East Oakland, deep East Oakland, the community is starting to change slowly. It's coming around. But how do we financially educate, financially get behind our community? Also for our businesses, how do we support them so that they could thrive, stay in Oakland? And, how do we get our young folks to understand that, to keep the money in the community and keep the houses so that our folks can still have a place that we call home in Oakland?
Wow, man. Yeah, it's a whammy, bro. I think it's just about that walk you just talked. You just said everything that needs to be approached or needs to be, worked on. And I just feel like we just got to walk with it, all of it. Like, it's like I know I'm in public, but it's like sometimes I try to be as private as I can. But the point is I'm still in the town and I'm in the deep East. And, I took a stance that I wasn't going to get gentrified out of my city, no matter who was going to try to make me do it, whether it was, the neighborhood, my family, or the city, sometimes tough rules and regulations. You know what I mean? So it's just deep, man, because it's like you just gotta live it in real time with these people. You know what I'm saying? Whether you right there with the youngsters when they about to get down on each other, it's like everybody don't want to be in that line of fire, but somebody gotta be gangster enough, quote unquote, to stand in the middle of these youngsters over here about to shoot, and these youngsters like, man, y'all all stupid. Put the guns down. Talk. If you got to, fight with gloves. Like something has to register to give them a reason to think different. You know what I'm saying? Or same thing you was talking about with finances. Somebody with bread got to say, you know what? I'll finance these 10 youngsters who want to go through a financial literacy class or something. You know what I'm saying? But it got to be certain people who made it up already that decide to give back. You know what I mean? Who decide to say, it's about helping the next generation. That's the way that you take steps forward. You know what I mean? It's some Black folks out here making bread, man. You know what I mean? And some of them said, I'm gonna get on out the way because I made it. Versus some, they come back and reinvest in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And keep it 1,000 with you. One of the things that I understand even about what I'm doing and what Sobe was, in the history of it, Sobe was basically an ecosystem. You get what I'm saying? It was really, Definitely. It was just us. It was just us feeding us because we showed each other us. You know what I'm saying? And I still believe in that model. Because keep it real, it's like I said, it's pastors, it's different politicians, it's different businesses. They're like, okay, we're glad that you're thinking about this system. What does it take to get on it? And so we basically going to quote unquote unveil our content and our commercial model at Sobe Day, July 30th.
Wow, very powerful, man. I got to get there to see that. I want to be there on display. Man, Chuck, the very powerful stuff. I think you're right. That's what we got to do in the Black communities, create these ecosystems where that money comes through. We support. Definitely, Chuck, any young folk, any people from the community that want to learn about financial literacy, we've done our part. Have them go to our YouTube, check out some of our previous educational Thursdays. That's one thing that I wanted to bring to our community. I'm always reaching out to different financial advisors, investors, get them to come on and get that free game to our community so we can uplift our community. So I'm excited about that. And, just pumped up to have you here. I mean, just you speaking got me just fired up. Like, man, another brother that's just trying to get the message out, change the narrative. We got to grab our young folks. But with that being said, I know we
watch it. I was going to say, if I can explain to you something, what it really is that we got to give them that balance of how we talking about real education and things that we need to do to empower. And then we got to also show a vibe that we kind of relatable to what they own and what they can think about. Give them a window to listen to, like sometimes people I listen to some of their music just to kind of comprehend where they at. You know what I'm saying? And then some songs, keep real, I rock with a Lil Baby, or you know what I'm saying? There's certain artists, they show a certain substance to what they doing, even though sometimes it might not be your favorite conversation all the time. They showing you a certain substance. And that's what I look for, because that means behind the curtain, he might be reachable. You know what I mean?
Definitely, that's very real, very powerful. I do the same thing, even though I know, the difference between reality and what's entertainment. But I always, listen to the Bay Area artists, try to see who the new rappers is, try to see what's going on with the young folks. A lot of times when I'm listening to the music, I hear a lot of pain. And that's why I tell people these young folks need some love. You hear a lot of, them talking about, running from the pain. When we talk about the drugs and the usage of the stuff that they're doing with popping pills and doing their things, right? It's a lot of hurt, and there's a lot of trauma that we got to really bring to healing to our community. And that's why we so big on mental health support. How do we get more Black men to be vulnerable? And that's why I appreciate you coming up on today, just being real, being authentic, and being vulnerable, and just talking about things, because I think the only way we're going to change what's going on is we're going to have more Black men in the community step up and be vulnerable and talk about the anxieties, talk about the depression, talk about the PSD, because we all have lost loved ones through gun violence and different things, traumatic situations. And, if we start having more conversation into that, these young brothers, I think, will open up. And I think if we get some of the elders, and this is why I respect you at your age, Chuck, that you still trying to work with the youngsters. We just had our youth conversation this past weekend. A lot of the youth feel like the elders in the community don't respect them. They don't listen to them. And, I think as elders of the community, as older folks of the community, how do we figure out to listen to our young people? You know what I mean? They got something they got to say, and we got to figure out. We can't just say, oh, y'all wrong. Y'all don't know. Y'all off the hook, right? We got to kind of listen to what they're talking about and come up with solutions with them,
Yeah, we got to get back to that village concept, man. You know what I'm saying? You had an uncle that wasn't, he wasn't just on the right side all the time, but he was cool though.
Right.
You had to kind of learn how to get something out of Unc where you can, because he was what he was, but he still has something to tell you because he loved you. And so you got to have that village vibe, that auntie. You know what I'm saying? Like, these youngsters, they want that. And to be honest, we all just became like individualists, and that's what I think West One's been one of the biggest things. Everybody, they own individual. They got their phone. And that's all I need. Me and my phone. I'm just me and me. I don't need my mama no more. I don't need nobody. I'm just me on this phone, and that's just the part where I hate to say it. I don't want to be quote unquote the uncle that can't lead the past.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got a part of me that remembers the past, but I'm always ready to grow into something else. You feel me? So I'm just trying to say that's the me that always is intrigued to hear what the youngster got to say. Because I didn't really have said, I consider myself to know a few things or two. I don't know everything, but the point is I done had some youngsters make me do like this. I'm listening, and I don't talk for like 3 minutes because he giving me volumes of information. So it's just, you just got to be receptive to that opportunity, as an older person, man.
Man, definitely. And that's just the thing that I keep preaching to our elders of the community. Whoever the youngsters is looking up to, you call them big homies, whatever, man. I say at least give them some real game, man. Don't be misleading our young folks, having them out here, sending them on missions, doing stupid stuff. Every time a young person is opening up to you, whoever you are as a male in the community, give them some good game, give them some good information. And, don't be trying to send them on no missions or no stupid stuff. And it's going to take work, Chuck. We got a lot of work to do in our community. Definitely, we got to stand up, and do our part. And like I tell people, all we could do is take a step and stand, take a step and stand, take a step and stand. And that's all we can do, man. And that's what we going to keep doing, man. But before we end, I just want to say this, man. One, thank you, brother. You have dropped so many gems tonight. And you got my mind spinning, thinking about things, right? And one thing that we're trying to do here at both sides of the conversation is continue to unify our organizations, our community leaders, our cities. We want to start here in the Bay Area like you, but we want to go global as far as we can with this, right? But we got to start here in the Bay Area, man. We got to start working, folks in Frisco, Oakland, reaching the cars, each other. Other organizations, other communities do it, right? And I get so frustrated out there because a lot of these organizations is like, oh, you from here, you from there, this is your city, this is my. Listen, I'm about Black folks. I don't know about everybody else, but if there's black folks, black youth, black elders, you know what I mean? I'm in there. I'm supporting. I don't care whatever I can do to help uplift. That's what I want to do. And I'm hoping that with the narrative that you're putting out there, with changing that narrative, bringing folks together, bringing this music back, that we some kind of way find a harmony and work together to uplift our community, man. We got to do it, brother.
All I can tell you is, JH, is that you're going to learn about me. I'm going to learn about you more. And basically, I'll just say it like this, bro. I'm always going to be a town dude, but I know what it's like to be a Bay boy. And what I mean by that is I got diplomacy for the whole Bay. It ain't just me in the town. Like, I go kicking and be laid back in my partner house in Vallejo. I be kicking it, be laid back in my folks' house in Frisco. I be kicking it laid back. You know what I'm saying? I can be in Richmond. I be in a hard place in area of Richmond that most people in the town don't want to go to because I'm with my solid partner from Richmond. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I've been rocking my whole life, man. And so I got that vibe for Frisco, man. I got a lot of reputable partners from Frisco that, you know, I go visit all the time. So you one of them now. You know what I mean?
Man,
and,
definitely, definitely, brother.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. I'm everywhere too. I'm like you, Chuck, man. I go to Richmond, Oakland, West Oakland, North. I go all over, man. I'm everywhere. Antioch, Pittsburgh, the earth is my turf, my brother. Earth is my turf.
Right. I'll be laughing because to keep it 100 with you, Oakland fools be like, Chuck, you going way out there to Frisco? Like, fools be saying that versus my partners in Frisco, man. I mean, you be going all the way out. But then I'm gonna keep it real. This younger generation, they be out, they be sliding. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I know we about to close, but if you want to get kind of full, I can talk to you about another element, which is,
man, go ahead.
Watch this. Keep it 1,000 with you. What is it that a couple of incidences with funk, right? It'll be issues going on in Frisco, and then when the issue go down in Frisco, they'll try to go to Oakland to get away from it, and then they'll end up running into each other in Oakland, and then they la at each other in Oakland. So 2 incidents in the last year happened like that for sure. And I'm just, man,
it's been like 6 or 7 incidents, man. I get all the information, you know, a bunch of Frisco folks that had problems got caught over in Oakland, killed. Oakland folks getting caught in other cities getting killed, man. We got to stop it. But people got to understand the world is not small. Our communities are very small. When people say San Francisco's far away, I'll be like, man, that's a 15-minute, 20-minute hike across the bridge, man. But again, if we start working with each other and get out of that mindset of we from here and we start embracing each other as kings and brothers, like, man, look, I don't care if you're from Oakland, you come to my community, it's love. As long as you up in here, man, we got you. You know what I mean? If that's the mindset we can start shifting our young people to, man, we're going to have better progression. We'll have more money movement, more opportunities. But, you know, it's just that barrier culture. We got to hustle.
We got to get back. We got to get back to that. We got to get back to that. Let's remember that it was a time that it was like that. And this newer generation then went lawless. I call it the bipping culture. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, now Chuck, now we in our 40s. Now you know and I know. Back in the days, bippers was dope fiends. That's what we say. If you a bipper, that's what dope fiends did, right? Yeah, now these youngsters, they make this a hustle. They think they do it. So I'm like, man, that's kind of bad. When we came up, that's what the dope fiends did.
Exactly. But then they so dangerous. So let me get this straight. You breaking into my car and I'm coming to defend my car and you ready to shoot me? That's what's deeper for me. That's like, whoa. Like you taking out of my car and you better not run up or else.
Right. I mean, I deal with it all the time. That's the first question I ask these kids that come in jail. You know, I'm up there at juvenile hall in San Francisco working with those kids. First thing I tell them when I found out they breaking the car, I'd be like, now, if I went and broke your mama car, what'd you do? First thing they say, man, I'm going to kill somebody to do it. I said, but you just broken 30 cars, man. That's somebody's mama. But they don't even be thinking. They be so, you know, on these drugs, they mental health. There be so many things that they dealing with. They don't even realize it. And that's why a lot of times we can't even reach them until they get into the system where they get themselves clean. And then they start waking up and realize, oh, man, I'm tripping. And then we try to get them keep them on the right track. A lot of times they get it. A lot of times they don't. But again, you know, when they fresh out, you know, where's the community resources? Where's the community support to keep them on the right track? But again, we just got to keep tapping on their mind, man. If every day they wake up and 98% of the messaging going in their head is all negative, kill, this drill music like you talking about, it's very hard. And that's what we just try to like give them that positive, make them think a little different, try to mess with that computer up there and make them think about some other things. But it definitely could be done. I believe in this work. I believe in these second chances. I believe these kids get it. There's a lot of kids who do make it. And I'm just happy that you got a network that we continue to highlight, you know, the genius of our Black culture, the entrepreneurs, the rappers, keep uplifting them and highlighting them. Because a lot of times when things are positive happen, we don't never get that information out to community. All we hear about is the bad things. And that's what we're just trying to do here when we deal with our young folks, when we deal with the people in our community. We just want to let people know through our messaging, through our media, Black folks are moving. They are doing some things. There's a lot of folks who not, but our community is still thriving. We're not going to go away. But in the process, we're going to continue to work together and figure out how do we uplift and move our communities forward, man. And Chuck, I'm just so happy to connect with you. I know I've run into you a couple of times in the community, but thanks to Christy and some of our team putting us together, man, I would love to support you in any way I can. Anything you need that we could do, please reach out to me, man. But you know, it's getting close to that time. Before we let you go, though, Chuck, I mean, this is the time that we always say, if you want to leave something back to the community, if you want to give some gems, or you want to give out some shout outs, or you want to highlight some of the other work you're doing, any websites, man, this is the time to do it. Shout it out to the community before we end today's session.
That's what's up, man. Again, appreciate you, man. Appreciate everything y'all doing over there at both sides of the conversation. You know, at the end of the day, man, it's about preserving our culture and maintaining it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we in these days and times, man, they trying to separate us in any way possible. So, you know, just like we doing right now, we just, again, made another link between the Bay Bridge, you know what I'm saying, with Oakland and Frisco right here. You know what I mean? So this is just another prime example of that type of effort that we all got to do. And as far as us, again, man, you can find us at sobenetwork.com. You can also catch us on that Instagram. You know, we had Sobe TV. And July 30th, we got Sobe Day, man. It's going to be a daytime party. It's going to be going on at the New Parish over here in Oakland from 2 p.m. to like 7 p.m. We got like 4 DJs. We got a bunch of up-and-coming acts that want to perform. I don't want to kill the crowd with too many performances because I ain't going to front, man. I've been getting a bunch of calls from a bunch of artists, and it's like, this is what they say. They say, this is what soul people supposed to do. You're supposed to put the new ones on. So, yeah, I'm not running from that. But it's a daytime party because I want them to build up for the Loonies, Drew Down, and the return to 3 Times Crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just a different energy we want to bring to the town. We ain't had this energy in a very long time. So, you know, let's come out and be safe. You know what I'm saying? Let's get home safe, you know, and let's come out and have a good time with it July 30th. And I appreciate y'all for having me.
Man, no problem. Thank you, community. You heard it. Our both sides of the conversation, community. Get online, get some tickets. You know, the 30th is coming. It's right around the corner. Come on, y'all. Let's go out there. Let's sell out this event. Let's go out there and throw it up for the town. Let's throw it up for the Bay. Let's go see the Loonies. Let's go see 3 Times Crazy. Let's have a great time. Let's have an event in peace so that we can have more community events like this going on. Man, y'all have met him today, man. Chuck Johnson, man, a real mogul of our community. Moving Sobe. Go check out the network. Go follow him on all of his social media handles. Let's get out there. Let's make this event rock for the Bay. Let's show them how we do it in the Bay and turn up in a good way. And let's leave these everlasting memories. As y'all know, Chuck is going to document and hold this so that we can say, hey, on July 30th, it went down in a positive way and everybody had fun, man. With that, Chuck, thank you for coming on. Anytime you want to come on, man, all power to the people.
Yes,
you already know it, brother. Anytime you want to come on, any event you got, anything that you want us to get out, help get out to our community, flyers, events, just send them over to us at events@bsotc.org, and I'll make sure our team give you that, and we'll help blast that out and make sure our folks know what's going on. But again, thank you, brother, for standing up, being a man that you are for the community, making change, changing that narrative. That's what it's all about, brother, and we look forward to rocking with you here in the future, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. All right, community. There you have it for tonight's Hidden Gem segment. We had Chuck, man, and we're going to continue to bring more folks here on our Hidden Gem segment to educate and talk about what they're doing. If you have a hidden gem out there that's doing something positive for the community, or got a business that's rocking for the community, please nominate them. Have them come on so that we can get the community out there to know where they at, so we can get behind them and support them. With that being said, our next live show will be Thursday for another segment of our Educational Thursdays. And this Sunday, we'll be out live in the Kili. You see, he got the Sobe. Y'all see, I'm in the city, but I'm rocking my Oakland Carnival. You know, that was a great event we was at. And, you know, it's all about all love, man. This is a Bay Area thing, Oakland, Frisco thing. And we just want to let community know. Let's stay in tune. Let's stay in touch. Let's uplift each other. From the words of Chuck, let's create that ecosystem, people. Let's get this money moving in our community. With that being said, I love y'all. Be safe out there. Don't forget to go to the GoFundMe, support Uncle Stank. And we're going to continue to pray for him for his speedy recovery, as he is a pillar of our community doing amazing work to impact our community. With that being said, peace and love. See y'all for our next live stream on Thursday. Good evening, everybody.